let's talk about the back lockstep in Cha-Cha-Cha. Take a look first. Cha, cha, cha. Cha, cha, cha. Cha, cha, cha. Let's start off with your feet first. I've done a video on feet in Latin dance, so definitely check it out. You always want to have your heels pointing inwards and your toes pointing out. And when you're walking, you want to always step with one foot in front of the other, keeping your heels in and toes out. So your first step in the back lock step is going to be on the ball of the foot. Take a look. Ball, flat, flat. Ball, flat, flat. That's a very common mistake when a dancer is first learning how to do a back lock step, is not putting that first step, which is the first cha of the back lock step, onto the ball of the foot. Now, start off in your starting position to go back with two very straight legs, and then bring your foot in and go onto the ball of the foot. It's quite split weight, I would say, at this point. And then you start to push off from your front leg and bring it into a flat. Now, the second cha in the back lock step, it's the same in the forward lock step too, is a position called Cuban Cross. And the Cuban Cross has to look approximately like this. So you want your toes to be about that far away from the heel. You want this to be a 90-degree angle. And another very important thing that I mentioned in my feet in Latin dance video is that you should always be on inside edges of your feet. If you're on the outside edges of your feet, then your ankles are going to be kind of separated. And if you're on the inside edges, then your ankles are going to be trying to come together, which is what you always want in Latin dance. So it's the same for the Cuban Cross. When you're in this position, make sure you're pushing onto the inside edge of the ball of the foot on your back leg, and on the inside edge of the flat foot on your front leg. So this is what your Cuban Cross position is going to look like. Now, when you're taking your first cha step, which is on the ball of the foot, the same thing. It's very, very important that you're on the inside edge of that ball of the foot. So make sure you're not taking that step like this. This is a very common mistake. Or even like this, just sort of square. Make sure it's on the inside edge. So first cha on the ball of the foot, on the inside edge of the ball of the foot. Very straight leg. It's incredibly important to keep that leg very, very, very straight, because it's going to have to hold your weight when you're bringing in the front foot. And if that leg is not incredibly straight and it's kind of weak, it's going to make you fall over or lose your balance. So make sure it's an incredibly straight, strong leg. You can do even a little rocking exercise where you make sure that you're very strong, and then pull that foot in and bring it into a Cuban Cross. Now, when I did a video on my forward lock step in Cha-Cha, I've mentioned a second track, right? So whenever we're walking, we're always going in one foot in front of the other. But when you are dancing a forward lock step or a back lock step, with the second cha, you create a new track. And then with the third cha, you have to follow this new track. Check out that video. In a back lock step, you go in the same track in the first cha, then you create a new track with your second cha by creating a Cuban Cross, and therefore with the third cha, you have to follow this new track. So take a look this way. First cha, in line with my front leg. Second cha, I created a new track, and third cha, I'm going to follow this new track. Take a look again. Starting position. First cha, in line with my front leg. Second cha, I create a new track, and then third cha, I follow the new track. And I'm ready to go again into the next cha-cha-cha-cha, and then I create again a new track, and then back. So you kind of end up dancing, if you're doing many lock steps in a row, kind of like this, like this, like this. And cha, 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 cha. The next part I'd like to bring up is what happens with your hips. So starting position. First cha, you're going to open up that hip kind of as much as you can. And you might want to work a little bit on your flexibility if you're feeling like you can't open it up too much. But it definitely looks great when you can open up this hip a little bit more. When you pull this foot in, try to kind of like grab the floor with your toes as you're pulling it in to about this point. And then from here, bring it in to the Cuban Cross. Right here, you're going to squeeze your stomach by kind of bringing your hips up and squeezing your stomach sort of from the top as well. So it's a very compressed, strong stomach. And then take a step and release this squeeze. And then settle into your hip again. And you're ready to go into the lockstep one more time, or a back walk. So again, open up your hip, pull in, take a step into a Cuban Cross, squeeze your stomach, and then go back again into the new track. So take a look from the front. Starting position, and in your starting position, you can open up your hip too. I did a video on a forward walk starting position, and I will do a video on a back walk starting position. But for now, just make sure you have one foot in front of the other, your hip is turned backwards, your standing legs hip. Settle, and cha, ah. Open up the hip, and cha, ah, cha, ah. It definitely helps to count and to have a word for each action in your step. If you memorize each word for each action in the way that you want to count a step, it helps you not skip steps. So this is how I recommend you count this. And for the initial settle, cha for the step, ah for the weight transfer and the hip opening. And for the pull in, cha for the step, and for the squeeze, cha for the step, and ah for the weight transfer. So once again, and ah, cha, ah, and cha, ah, cha, ah, and cha, ah. Notice the high ball of the foot. Whenever I say ball of the foot, I always mean highest possible ball of the foot. And cha, ah, cha, ah. And backwards. And cha, ah. And cha, ah. Cha, ah. And cha, ah. And from the front. And ah, cha, ah, and cha, ah, cha, ah, and cha. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit like below and subscribe.